First, the breaking news from America tonight as two members of the National Guard have been shot in Washington close to the White House. Now, the suspect is severely wounded and in custody. Sarah Smith has the very latest.
Police surrounded the scene as we can see someone being loaded into an ambulance. Two members of the National Guard were shot on this busy street in central Washington, just 2 blocks away from the White House. Both of the guardsmen are said to have been critically injured. The suspected gunman was shot at the scene and is in custody in hospital. The Vice President was addressing U.S. troops in Kentucky when he got the news.
But apparently there was a shooting outside the White House just a couple of hours ago, and we're still learning everything. We still don't know the motive. There's a lot that we haven't yet figured out, but what we do know is that a couple of National Guardsmen were injured in the line of duty.
The gunman is said to have been severely wounded, and there is now an extensive investigation underway. Guard troops have been stationed in Washington for the last 4 months, and it has just been announced an extra 500 will be deployed to the city.
Tragic events that happened today at approximately 2:15 local time in Washington, D.C., where two of our brave members of the National Guard and the Department of War were brazenly attacked in a horrendous act of violence. They were shot. They're in critical condition. As you can see behind me, we have assembled the full force of both the federal and state and local law enforcement agencies to bring bear all of our resources to make sure we find the perpetrators responsible for this heinous act. And make no mistake, they will be brought to justice. Since this is an assault on a federal law enforcement officer, this will be treated at the federal level as an assault on a federal law enforcement officer. The FBI will lead out on that mission with our interagency partners to include the Department of Homeland Security, Secret Service, ATF, DEA, and we're thankful for the mayor's assistance in this matter. The Metropolitan Police Department and their skills in investigating homicides and gun shootings in this city is exceptional. We will work together collaboratively because this is a matter of national security, because it's a matter of pride. President Trump has been informed. We've been in contact with the White House. We will shortchange the American public with no resources to make sure we find and safeguard our nation's capital right here in Washington, D.C., and bring anyone responsible for this heinous act of violence to justice. I would lastly like to add to the American public in the world, please send your prayers to those brave warriors who are in critical condition and their families. They are here serving our country. They are here protecting everyday Americans and citizens around the world in our nation's capital. They are the heroes of this day, and we must remember them on this day and every day and their families and the sacrifice they have made. They are the heroes of this day, and we must remember them on this day and every day and their families and the sacrifice they have made. I will now turn it over to Chief Carroll of the Metropolitan Police Department.
Late today, Mayor Muriel Bowser confirming both Guard members from West Virginia, a man and woman, are in critical condition. The suspect shot and wounded. He's now in custody. The National Guard deployed to Washington, D.C. under President Trump's crackdown on violent crime. Late today, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth saying the president now wants an additional 500 troops in the city. President Trump responding from Mar-a-Lago, praising the National Guard and saying the suspect, quote, will pay a very steep price.